Hello, Cancer. Welcome to this reading. We are going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Cancer for the rest of November. Now, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and feel free to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right. Cancer, let's go ahead and get into this reading here for you, where we'll be taking a look at the rest of this month of November. So the timeline on this reading will be from now until the end of the month, of course. So this is your mid-month update to Cancer. Do hope that you have been doing well. And with that said, let's go ahead and get all the cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. All right. Cool. Okay. I think that's looking just about good enough to me. Energy on the bottom. You have the Five of Pentacles. All right, Cancer. So some of you here at this time, you may feel like you are struggling to find a way out of something. Okay, the Five of Pentacles, it can indicate like the feeling of poverty, or yes, it can indicate like, yeah, maybe there are some financial struggles that are going on. But with tarot, it's important to kind of look at this as like it can be everything that goes along with it, right? So when you think about the feeling of poverty, it may feel like you can't get out of anything, right? Or you can't get out from under something, right? And some of you here, whether you're doing financially okay or not, like you may feel like you need to work through something, or there's something you have to work through, but you're feeling trapped. I'm getting a sense that some of you are feeling trapped here, not only because of this Five of Pentacles, but also because you have the Devil. Now, and there are some other signs here as well that may point to that in addition. But you have, the good news is you have some really good signs that there is kind of like light at the end of the tunnel here. There's a way to work through this situation, and I'm going to try to give you the best guidance that I can in this reading here based on the cards. Okay, so overall you have a really nice set of cards here. I definitely see that some of you are feeling restricted right now, okay? Some of you are ready to completely let go of something, okay? And I definitely see, Cancer, that you are craving a big change, okay, in your life. Now you have 555, okay, so you have 555. This is an angel number. For me, when I get 555, when I see it come into my life frequently, which I have at different at different points in my life, that signifies change for me, and you can even, if you'd like to, you can do some research on that 555 number, but everything I know about that indicates that your spirit guides or God or the universe, whatever you put meaning into, is pointing you towards change, right? Pointing you in the direction of change right now. And I think that this is generally showing up as a good thing for you, okay, as I'm looking at the overview of the cards here. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, right away in the middle, you have the Sun card, right? And the Sun is the best card in the tarot, all right? The Sun is it's total positivity, success, happiness, and it can also be an exposure of a truth as well in the tarot, okay? It can say that there is a truth being exposed for you that needs to come forward, right? Because the card that comes before the Sun is the Moon, and the Moon is anything that you are in the dark around. The Sun brings it forward, okay? That thing that you were in the dark around, the thing that was hidden, is now exposed. And this is a good thing. This is bringing positivity. This is bringing closure, maybe, for some of you. Maybe for some of you, this is a way of experiencing closure around a particular situation or topic in your life at this moment. But anytime you get the Sun, it is always a good sign in a tarot reading, okay? And the fact that it's in the middle is even better, because the Sun augments the positive aspects of cards around it and negates the negative aspects of cards around it, right? So the thing is, it's in the middle, and the middle influences every card. So if there's like the best, you know, the best card for me is the Sun, and the best position in the spread is the middle position. So this is, for me, a very good sign as the reader that you are going to get out from under that thing that you are craving to get out from under, right? Like you're craving change. There's something you need to get out of. Let's go ahead and let's try to get some more details on this. In the first column, you have the Devil, the Three of Cups, and the King of Wands. So the Devil is quite literally, it can be quite literally entrapment. Okay, it can mean that you are, like somebody has you under their thumb, or there's a situation that you feel trapped in. Okay, that you feel like there's no way out, right? This is the Devil. The Devil can also be a card that may indicate toxicity in life, right? So this could be toxicity from a person around you. This could be a toxic habit or pattern that you are engaging in as well when you get the Devil. Something that you're doing that you know you shouldn't be doing, right? It could be anything like that when you get the Devil. It's also a card that is associated with power and like power games as well that somebody may be playing with you, right? Power inherently is not a bad thing. It's how the person, you or otherwise, wields the power. And it's also about desire. And again, desire is inherently not a bad thing either, right? It depends on how you wield it, right? Or what you do with it, right? And so for you, I'm getting a sense here that with the Five of Pentacles, the Devil, some of you may feel like you're looking for like a lifeline here, okay? And, you know, I'm always an advocate of, you know, taking things into your own hands if you can, right? I know sometimes it's easier said than done, and especially when you have something like the Devil and the Five of Pentacles, it can feel like you don't have any cards, you know, you don't have any cards to play, you know? You've played all your cards, and now, right? So some of you may be in that sort of position here, but call me an eternal optimist. I always think there's a way through, okay, personally. And, you know, I think the tarot also can help show us that as well. And so as you have the Sun here in the middle, it very clearly suggests that there is a bright spot in your life somewhere, okay? And actually, there is a book that is coming to mind called Psycho-Cybernetics. I don't know if you've ever read that book. I highly recommend you read it, especially if you're resonating with this. And I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but one of the core themes of the book is around success. And, you know, if you think back into your life, like, have you ever been successful at anything, right? Like, have you ever experienced success in anything? And this can be like way, like a long time ago when you were younger. And for example, let's say that you successfully got an A+ on a test when you were in elementary school or when you were a student, or you had some, you know, small success, let's say in a sports event or anything, right? I think if you look back across your life, you have probably experienced success at least one time, at least once, even if it was a small success. I bet you've experienced it one time. And in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, it suggests that if you have been successful one time, it means that you can be successful a million times over. And the reality is that everybody at some point in their life has experienced success. So if you are in this period of time right now where you feel like, I cannot get through this, know that you have experienced success before, and you can. You can. There are always opportunities. There are always options, right? Even here, I see with the Three of Cups, it's possible that somebody here is gossiping with the Devil and the Three of Cups, and you're not liking this. You also here have the King of Wands. Could this be a work-related situation? Maybe. The King of Wands is somebody who is going to take a risk in life, right? But a calculated one, because they are the King of Wands, right? They're not the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a full-on risk taker. The King of Wands is a more mature risk taker, right? And the King of Wands will take bold action, especially in business. I wonder if some of you are dealing with a toxic person here. Three of Cups, Devil. Maybe a gossiper, maybe otherwise. That you are trying to kind of work through. In the middle column, you have the Five of Wands, or sorry, yeah, you have the Five of Wands, the Sun, and the Five of Swords. So with this here, you have a conflict and a loss. Five of Wands, Five of Swords. Okay? But again, there's a bright spot here available to you. Can you reframe this? Can you realize that you are capable of success? Because you inevitably have experienced success at some point in your life. You have. Which means you can tap into that and experience success a million times over. Right? Cancer? So with this Five of Wands here, you know, the people on the card are battling. Somebody's trying to become successful, right? Somebody's trying to win, right? Somebody's trying to win the battle. And the person who wins the battle, interestingly enough, gets the Six of Wands, the next card after the five, which is success. It is victory. It is a parade. Accolades, you know, somebody who is being celebrated for their achievements. And what I'm seeing here is that you have a conflict with somebody. This person's probably toxic, or this situation is toxic in some way with the Devil and the Three of Cups. You are battling with this person, and it may feel like you can't win. You can't win. You know, some of you may feel like you can't win, but you can. Okay, because in the future there is success here for you. Below the surface here, some of you may feel like you are going to lose this situation with the Five Swords. I'm not entirely sure that that's the case. And what I'll also say is, let me get to this final column. You have the Six of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Two of Swords. What I'll also say is that if you do end up losing this situation, which I'm not entirely sure what it is, it seems like it might be work-related, but it could also be something connected to like your friend group or gossiping. Could it be a third-party situation or a relationship? Maybe. I would want more confirmation of that. We're going to get more confirmation. But here's the thing. Let's say you lose. The future here, you know, hypothetically speaking, you lose, so to speak. You're actually not losing, okay? You're actually not losing. Because in the future position here, it says that this is exactly what needs to happen, okay? Because you have some type of victory here that is showing up here. The Six of Wands is a success in life. It is, you know, major achievement, especially as you have the Sun with it. You actually have a really good direction that you're headed here with the King of Wands, the Sun, and the Six of Wands. But additionally, you have this energy here of walking away, okay? And so if any loss around this issue in the cards is actually showing up as an opportunity to let go of this. Because right now it seems like you're just in a challenging situation. And with the Sun here, again, this is the most positive card in the tarot. This is generally a very good thing. There's actually like a really good, how do I say this, hidden outcome maybe? Like there's some extra outcome here related to this that is actually sort of like a blessing in disguise, I guess is how you would say. I'm trying to reframe it or rephrase it in a different way because I use that term a lot, but there's really no other way for me to say it other than this seems like a blessing in disguise, okay? But I'm actually not entirely convinced that you are losing in the first place, but I'm just suggesting that, let's say you are, sort of hypothetically speaking, this is actually showing up as a blessing in disguise. This is actually providing you with a way out of this scenario here that you feel trapped or you feel like you're under right now. Some of you here have a difficult decision to make. Let's go ahead and let's get more details on what this is all about here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards for you, and then I will also pull some tarot cards for you here, Cancer. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. I think that's looking just about good enough to me. You have Eagle, see from a higher perspective. So yes. So this is kind of like the essence of what I'm trying to say here, which is maybe there's something about acceptance as well that could be coming in, which is like if you are sort of losing, accept that that's the outcome that is sort of like destined for you, right? And that there's probably this other outcome attached to this here that's looking good for you, right? That's kind of what I'm seeing. It's hard to explain. You have the Trader, exchange energy to create abundance, and Traveler, move in a new direction. Not surprised to see the Traveler card. It's not In this case, about literal travel, unless you're resonating with that. But in this case, it's more like with this Eight of Cups, which is walking away from a disappointing situation. Okay, let's see what these other three cards are. And that is amazing. You have the Sun again. So you have Sun, enjoy success and happiness. You have Direction Guardian, choose your path, and Oracle, wait for important information. Sometimes sometimes it is, how do I say this? Sometimes we go through periods of time where we're just quite literally not acting on something or moving on something. We may feel like we need the outcome right away, but there's a reason that it's not here yet, right? Oracle, wait for important information. And, I kind of like, for myself, and you may decide that this makes sense for you or not, to kind of view that as a sort of divine timing, like the universe rearranging my timeline for me, right? So let's go ahead and let's take a look at clarifying these cards even more. I'm very curious to see what this looks like for you. Now, Cancer, I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I do hope things are going well for you. All right. Let's see what we have here. You have the Three of Wands. You have the Hanged Man and the Two of Cups. Three of Wands, Hanged Man, Two of Cups. Okay. So the Three of Wands, it can really represent growth and expansion into something. I love to see this for you here. There may have been like a partnership here that has gone wrong. Okay? With the Two of Cups, this could have been with a fire sign. This could have been with somebody who is exciting to be around. This could be somebody who is really passionate about what they do. Two of Cups, King of Wands. Two of Cups is actually the best love card in the tarot, but it can also signify general partnership as well in the tarot, whether this is a business partner or otherwise, which actually that could be a combination of business partnership in this reading here, especially because the Three of Wands can also be about partnerships and alliances, and Wands is the suit of career. So I see that there has been a work-related situation for some, I think the majority here, and then for others there's been a love-related situation perhaps, where there was either another person involved or there was some strange gossiping that was going on. And I actually think that the work-related people here, this may be connected to gossip in some way, or it may feel like there's like another person in the picture here that is not exactly sitting right, even if it's in work, right? Also, some of you are delaying something. Okay, some of you are delaying, is delaying the inevitable. Does that make sense to you? I wonder if it does. Okay, with the Hanged Man and the Three of Cups. Is it possible that you need to talk with somebody here? Okay, you're having a hard time finding the words with the Two of Swords. Like, is it possible that you need to verbally verbally work through something here? But you are hanging on to it for now? Let's see here. I think this idea of like waiting for important information is also kind of important. I know it's an interesting reading. So I'm actually not entirely sure that acting right now is what the cards are suggesting to do. Rather, I think the cards are suggesting that you are holding for a minute. Okay, you have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Tower, and you have the Ten of Pentacles. All right, so the Tower here, the Tower is, this can be, this is really interesting because I talked about how the Sun is the exposure of a truth. And usually this is very good. It's a happy situation. It's a successful exposure of something. It's something that needs to come out, but it's usually like happy ending, right? Like happily ever after, The Tower, on the other hand, it is also the exposure of a false belief. Okay, it's more so the exposure of something that is very difficult. It's a tough pill to swallow. When the the Tower comes in. But both of these cards, in a certain way, can represent exposing something that needs to be exposed, right? Something that needs to come forward, be brought to the light, so to speak, be brought in clear view. And I think that this is like a big portion of what's happening for people here, if this is your reading, in this back half of the month of November. Okay, if this is your reading. Okay, this may be connected to like money and finances and how that sort of sinks in with business, or how this sinks in with a partner, romantic partner, or how this sinks into family. Like you may be in one of those categories. And yes, all of those are present here in the cards because the Ten of Pentacles is actually like legacy money, right? It's money that is, it's generational money. It's money that's passed through families, for example. That's one way of looking at the Ten of Pentacles, right? So there may be something that like towards this back half of the month here that needs to come forward, that needs to be said or needs to be seen around those areas. And it's probably connected to money. For some, again, for some it will be business, for some it will be love, relationship stuff, and then for some it'll be family. Because each one of those things here are on the board. Some of you are looking to like, you really want something new. And I think that ultimately you're going to end up doing this year. And when I say that, I talked about earlier how you're moving in a new direction here, this Traveler card, Direction, Guardian, Choose Your Path, and also the Eight of Cups. Walking away from disappointing situations. Now we have the Ace of Pentacles, which can be a new beginning in money scenarios. It's this idea of like planting a new seed. There's a conflict around this though, as you have the Five of Wands. However, I really want to, like, if you're still watching, like I really want to go back to the example I shared about like success, right? You have been successful in something at some point in your life. You have. Everybody has achieved at least one success in their life, even if it's a minor success. And that the mere act of achieving success one time, again, it means you can be successful in the future. Okay, this is like really important, I think, for people right now. Especially because I think some of you are having a conflict internally or externally about like going in a new direction with money or something along those lines. You have the King of Wands again here, so we have that card coming in again. You have the Death card and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, for those of you who are like considering entrepreneurship, in other words, for those of you who are considering self-employment, I do want to say that there is a potential for you in that endeavor. Okay, now, you know, just remember tarot is never 100%, but you do have the entrepreneur coming in twice, and I have a sense that there's tension here with a partner or with somebody at work. And some of you are like, well, I kind of am tired of taking orders, or I'm kind of tired of building somebody else's business, you know, working for someone else. I get a sense that you're kind of ready to make this happen, but you don't feel like you can. Okay, there may be a blockage in your mind here around, well, I can't do this. You know, I don't know what it's like to build a business or to own a business or to, you know, be self-employed. Like there may be some sort of like questioning yourself. Okay, if that is you, like I'm not coming at you in any way. I feel like this is a common thing. And what I would say is that, remember, you've been successful before, and I'm not going to go through the whole example again, but you have, okay? So it means that you can in whatever it is that you've done before, that you decide to do going forward, right? But you have this idea here of independence, financial independence here with the Nine of Pentacles. But there's some like difficult choice or decision that has to be made around that with the Two of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles, you know? And you have success here with the King of Wands. King of Wands is the entrepreneur. This is somebody who's a leader in business. Generally very good card. And then with the Death card and the Eight of Cups, this is a transformation around this idea of walking away. You know? This is like a deep reading here, but it's all supported by that Sun card in the middle. So anything that feels like basically anything right now during this time where you feel like, it's all collapsing, like I need to get out, like all of these sorts of things. Remember, the devil indicates entrapment. it indicates being trapped. The people in the tower are trapped. And the tower card indicates that the people are now released from what they were trapped in. Okay? And 15 devil, 16 tower, right? And now you've got the sun here suggesting that actually this is the path forward that needs to happen for you, right? So overall, this looks good. It's just a very deep reading. You have the Four of Pentacles on the bottom, which indicates the desire for stability for some of you, you know? But the reality is that right now with the Tower, the Death card, the Devil, it may not be stable, right? At this time. But there's a suggestion here that you could build that stability for yourself if this is what you want, if that's what you're desiring, what you're craving. But there's definitely a change here for you. Definitely a change. 555, the Death card, the Tower, Eight of Cups. This all seems pretty positive though. Wow, excuse me. Okay, you have official person, high honor, mature woman, occupation, main male, and lovers. Okay, excuse the coughing there. My apologies. So with the occupation card, I do think that there's something that is going on here with a person in a position higher than you, authority figure, with the official person and the occupation. I see that there are other people involved in the work scenario here, but here's the deal with the high honor card. You are in a strong position. High honor card indicates that you are decorated in a particular field or area. And, you know, to me, this stuff generally all looks good for you. It's just very deep. And I would also say that with the pathway card, this may take time. Okay, the pathway may suggest 3 to 6 months. It doesn't have to, because remember, timelines are hard to wrap down in general readings. But basically, pathways are dharma. Like it's destiny. It's you know, kind of the one way of looking at dharma is like the path that you're supposed to be walking on. And so generally, this is a very deep but very positive reading. You know, so. Energy on the bottom, you do have a message card, which to me I would suggest that there are, you know, there's like definitely a lot of communication that's going on here. All right, Cancer, thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.